In our previous lesson, we discussed extensively the plot of the poem, The Song of the Women of My Land by Oumar Farouk Sesay. We discussed the background of the poem. We discussed the plot analysis, and also we discussed about the background of the poet. So the background of the poem, the background of the poet, and the plot of the analysis of the poem have been done extensively in our previous video. So in case if you haven't watched that, it is good that you search the channel and get it and watch, so that you will have full understanding of this video. Now we are going to be discussing today the diction, structure, poetic devices and themes in the poem The Women of My Land, the Song of the Women of My Land. And briefly, the background of the poet is that Oumar Sesay is from Sierra Leone. He is a notable Sierra Leonean poet whose work has been published in a number of anthologies. He's a great poet, and then his work is published in anthology like A Lies in the Lion's Mane, and then several other which has been published on. And then he is talking about the African women. And then the background of the poem, as I said in the earlier video, is that in Africa, women come under the yoke of oppression, both from the society, from their husband, and also even from the male gender generally. So as a result of that, women are subjected to working a lot, especially in the traditional African society. So some of the women, they console themselves with song, working in the farm, working in the mining site, working in different places, and especially the work is a lot of burden to them. So and we discussed the poem also, which I said that the poem is a meditation on the plight of African women, especially that of the peasant women in traditional African society. So it portrays what happened to the women in the traditional African society, how they are subjected to hard labor, and then they try to console themselves by singing. Now let's see, for the full of the summary, it is important that you listen to the first video and watch it also. Now let's see the what we are going to be discussing today. Now let's look at the diction. If you have read the poem, I think it will not be hard for you to notice the diction there. The words are very simple, and the words are chosen in a way that describe the actual intent of the poet, which it portray the experiences of the women, how they were unsung, how they were not praised, eulogized for what they did, and even after their death, nobody remembers them. Rather, it is only the fading tone of the song that are being remembered. The structure of the poem. The poem consists of about 46 lines, and we have 8 stanzas that are not equal, with 1 line stanza being the shortest and the 9 line stanza being the longest. So though interrelated, each stanza focuses on slightly distinct parts of the message, where each stanza talks about the plight, the experiences of the women, the intention of the women, and also what they intended to do with the song. Okay, now look at the poetic device. A lot of poetic devices are in the poem. Now the tone of the poem is that of lament. Lament for what? Lament for the women of our land, because the problem of the women are very, very burdensome, in a way that nobody sing their praises. They lost their life in attempt to raise children, in attempt to work to make ends meet, and at the same time, even the song they left behind is being forgotten by the people. So is a tome of lament. The persona, the writer of the poem, is lamenting that the women who labor so much for their families are not considered as heroine, are not regarded, are not praised. Even at the point of death, nobody remembers them, nobody remembers even their song. Now, there is an imagery, a collection of images in the poem also. And then we have a various kind of image used in the poem. And then we see the image of woods, chisel. The wood and the chisel, I display a graphic picture of them in the first video. And then we have the image of women, the image of land, the image of pen, the image of music, and several other images used in the poem. And many inanimate things are used. So look at the personification. Several inanimate things are used in the poem, like things like time. No time chase away, as how the poet put it. No, time does not have the ability to chase away. It is an attribute of human being. And then servitude, both are giving human qualities. And then we have repetition, a lot of repetitions in the poem. A few words and phrases recall in the poem a couple of times. And then there are time. Time is mentioned several times. Song several times. Lyrics, play, the woman of my land, fallen feet, and several other words and phrases are repeated in the poem. Now we have metaphor also. This is also there's the use of metaphor in the poem. Some of the examples are in line 10, when servitude cuff the ankles of their soul. You know, this is a metaphoric statement which is used metaphorically to refer to how the women of the land were mentally and psychologically shackled. Okay, and look at another one, alliteration. Alliteration also the repetition of a consonant sound, fallen feet, turning the tenor of my case. So you see t, that is alliterative words. Fallen feet, you see the alliteration, the repetition of f. Okay, and let's look at some of the themes in the poem. If you have read the poem or listened to the first video, you will agree with me that one of the major preoccupations of the poem is that of oppression of women, especially African women, and traditional African women, to be specific. So the poem deals mainly with how women were oppressed in the past. They work in the farmland, they spend a lot of time providing for the families, and then it speaks a lot. The condition of these women was so hard that it was giving them psychological trauma, and most of them are peasant women, and their farms are not for commercial purposes. Whatever they cultivate, they plant, they use it to help their family, to take care of their children, their husband, their relatives. And somebody who labors so much selflessly is being oppressed by both the society, the male gender, and even fellow women. They are not sung, they are not praised, even by their own children. And it is very, very an oppressive condition. Now we have endurance. Yes, this is one of the greatest qualities of African women, especially in the traditional African society. In the modern society today, I know a woman that is suffering or may not endure such and may easily pull out of the marriage or taking another means, another route to get quick success. But you know, in the traditional African society, endurance is one of the signal of the women, it's one of their watchword. So in the poem also you see that the poem, the women were suffering, in fact long time suffering, prolonged suffering, but they endure it to the end. They endure it to the end of their life on earth. And several of them spent a lot of their fortunes to take care of family, as I said earlier. And even though they have a very long suffering capacity of women, and we can see in the point that in their misery and in their hopelessness, or the African women continue to endure, taking succor in singing and even celebrating their achievement. And you could see that a traditional African woman may even be celebrating that, okay, even if he has not achieved something, she was able to sponsor her children to high school. Okay? So that is one of the things they celebrate. They endure a lot of hardship. Even when the husbands are not there for them, they endure it and sponsor their children by themselves. Now, look at another one, the power of time. In the poem, time compromises memory and engenders forgetfulness. On another occasion, time is presented as tyrannous, but which fortunately the women are able to cheat. Now, the women had a lot of song, but today, as a result of time passing by after their death, most of them have been forgotten. Even the lyrics of the song have evaporated. They have disappeared into the air because the people do not pay much attention to the plight of the women. And as a result of that, even their song were not given any form of consideration or significance. And they fade away as a result of time. Okay, so I have an assignment for you. I want you to do it just to help yourself, and you can submit it using the comment section. Now, closely examine the use of any three devices in the poem. And before you answer this question, please make sure you read the poem yourself, not only the video of this, or you also listen, you watch the video of the poet, of the poem analysis, of the analysis of the poem stanza by stanza, and then second, discuss the theme of women oppression in the poem. Now, this women oppression is related to African traditional society generally, where women are being subjected to hard labor, to farmland, working in the farm, or going to mining site to work, or some of the construction site they even go, where they labor to take care of their children. Not that they are taking the money to do anything for themselves, but mostly to take care of their families and kids and siblings. So it's one of the things that dominate Africa. Even today, 2022, we still have such in traditional African society, where women are left alone. A man will just marry 2, 3, 4 wives, and then he will tell all of them to your tent, oh Israel, you have to take care of the children you born, you have to sponsor them to school, and the man may not have time to even or have money, or even if you have money, may not even give to the children for their study. So a lot of women are being subjected to rigorous suppression in the traditional African society, and that is what Oumar Sesay portrayed in this poem. So I want you to discuss it extensively as much as you can, and then post it in the comment section. I will also respond to it, and then we discuss it further for better understanding. Okay, make sure you watch the video, and at the same time subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you will get notified anytime another video is uploaded. We have a lot of videos on English literature, English language that will be uploading one after another, and I believe most of them will be the one that will help you in your examinations. So subscribe, click the notification bell so that we will carry you along, and we hope that all your exams you are going to be successful, come out with success. Thank you.